Welcome back to the Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Ed Doyle, he's our guest. He recently contributed to an article over at priceofbusiness.com. I want to encourage you to check it out with a company called Real Food Consulting, which I always find real food to be way better than fake food. Ed, welcome to the program. How are you, sir?
I'm well. How are you?
Really, really fine, thanks. Glad to have you on the program. And tell us a little bit about Real Food and what you guys do at Real Food Consulting.
Real Food is a full-service food service consulting firm working with restaurants and food service operators and hotels at every stage of their life cycle, from first inception of the idea all the way out to development, design, turnkey startup solutions, and then, of course, we do a fair amount of operations work, helping people improve operations or, in some cases, save operations. So it's a pretty diverse portfolio of clients, everything from your small mom-and-pop pizza joint out through, large high-end restaurants and hotels and conference centers.
Yep, and that website is realfoodconsulting.com.
That sure is.
Yeah, explain the name for us real quick.
I'm sorry?
Explain that name, Real Food Consulting.
When we first started, there was and there still is, we started out with a focus on sustainable operations and really, local sourcing, farm to fork, because 10, 12 years ago, that wasn't really something that was high up on the horizon. Certainly it's become part of the consumer dialogue, and I don't want to say ubiquitous, but it's kind of an expectation on the consumer level. So, as our portfolio of work has grown, we've expanded far beyond that, but it certainly stayed as part of our roots and a big part of the company philosophy. Yeah,
really good. Tell us a little bit about the size and types of companies you work with. Obviously, I would assume restaurants are in that, but it may be beyond that. Talk a little bit about it.
Sure enough. We work with a lot of independents, a lot of chef-driven concepts, but we also do a fair amount of corporate work. We work with large and small, everything from your mom-and-pop pizza joint and taqueria out to multi-unit chains. Certainly do a lot of work with hotels. We do a little bit of work with food service manufacturing, but the majority of our work is, consumer direct food service operations.
Yep. So it looks like you're in the Boston area. Is that where all of your clients are, or do you have clients all over the country?
We do work all over the country. We actually have 3 offices, one here in Boston, one in California, one in New York. And, the majority of our work does typically hit the Northeast U.S., but we work all over the country, and we're actually even doing some work internationally.
Awesome. Any stuff in Texas yet?
Yeah, sure. We've done some work in Houston.
Yeah, very cool. Tell me a little bit about, what is the challenges that you guys face, particularly from the growth perspective, for business development.
Like any business, there are the day-to-day challenges, but one of the things for us is our services are somewhat unique. We have a more comprehensive approach to our consulting practice than most of the standard design development firms that are out there. So, really working with our clients to make sure we can best articulate our value proposition is important. Certainly, especially when we're talking about a new company startup. Smart clients are guarding their capital carefully. So we have to make sure that we're able to articulate, that we are sorry about that. So we are certainly looking at, how we can grow smart and how we can continue to expand our reach for our clients. But, at the end of the day, you're only as good as your last project. So we hang our hats really heavily on referral business and, being able to point to the work that we've done. Nothing speaks better to the value that we provide than a client that's saying, yeah, you should hire these guys.
Right. Let me ask you, how large is your company in terms of number of employees?
We have 6 sitting in the office here in Boston, 1 in New York, and 1 in San Francisco.
Okay. And how do you typically get your new clients? Is it a lot of word of mouth?
We do kind of 3 buckets. We've got, referral business, which is, peer-to-peer, chef-to-chef, operator level. We have a significant referral base that comes through professional services, either architects, general contractors, developers, attorneys, and then our website does very, very well for us.
Interesting. And so 2014, what kind of year has that been for y'all?
2014 has been a phenomenal year. As the economy's begun to turn, people are really taking advantage on the development side. real estate that had been on hold is back in the swing, and any smart real estate developer these days understands the draw on the value of food service operations as part of a mixed-use development. So it's created a tremendous amount of new space for food service operations. So that's created a lot of opportunity for us.
Real Food Consulting President and Founder Ed Doyle, he's been our guest today. You can learn more about him at realfoodconsulting.com. Ed, thanks for being with us.
Hey, I really appreciate the opportunity.
You bet. And go feed your dog. Hey, when we come back, much more for you. Do want to remind you, best content here can be found over there at usdatareview.com. And this is The Price of Business.